What's up guys, it's me Jeremy. Now that I'm finally done with my finals at school, I'm very excited to bring you guys some videos again. I've decided to start off with a highly requested video, which is how to carry a game as a support. And without further ado, let's get started. There are two major parts to carrying as a support, the laning phase and the teamfight phase. Both have many things that you need to do well in order to carry. Let's start with the laning phase. First, getting your AD carry fed will make it very easy to carry fights later on. The best way to do this is by playing very aggressively and to constantly trade in order to lead up to an eventual initiation and a one fight. Getting kills for your AD carry will make them extremely powerful and make the teamfight phase very easy for your team as a whole. Also, it's important to not be greedy when playing aggressive. It's very easy for you as a support to get caught out overextending and die. Make sure that your AD carry is at least in position to follow up if you try to make something happen. Don't expect him to help you out if he is really far away from you. You need to analyze the situation to the best of your ability and then act accordingly. Next, you need to ward properly. Warding the river, the tri-bush, dragon, and the lane bushes when necessary will greatly reduce the chances of you or your AD carry getting caught out overextending or by a gank. In addition, it's important to watch the other lanes, mainly mid, to avoid getting ganked by them as well. Dying to ganks is probably one of the worst things that you can do, and it will set your lane back a ton and just make every part of the game much harder. Most importantly, you need to communicate a ton. Tell your AD carry when you are getting ganked. Don't just expect him to notice. If you are expecting your AD carry to be as good as you, then you aren't really trying to carry, are you? You're just hoping that he does well. No, you need to take charge in the lane. Tell your AD carry when he's making mistakes or what he could do better, etc. But it is very important to tell him in a very humble way. Otherwise, you'll come off as a cocky asshole and they won't listen to you. Now let's move on to the teamfight phase. The first thing that you need to do is try not to do that much by yourself. If we recall the 10 commandments of a support, we can remember that one of them is to never roam to be by yourself, and this is very true. A support by him or herself is pretty much useless because you can't fight anyone or push or do anything really other than warding. But this even applies to warding too, because you need to not get cut out while still warding a lot. Map awareness is crucial during the late game, and one of the most important things for you to do. So many games are decided by which team has a member that gets caught out first, so you need to ward a ton while also not getting caught out yourself. Next, in correlation with the last point, you should try to catch out an opponent. Other than by warding heavily, this means that you should be buying in oracles to deny the map presence of your opponents, so that they have no vision while you still have vision on them, allowing for a huge advantage in a skirmish. Also, during teamfights, you need to kite for and protect your carries, which will almost always be your AD carry. AD carries need a ton of protection in fights, and as a support, that is your job to do. Honestly, I would say that unless you find a perfect opportunity, you should almost never try to initiate a fight. Unless you can catch out a squishy target with a hard CC ability, it's much more beneficial to your team to save your abilities to kite for your AD carry, simply because they are just so vital to teamfights late game. If you had a solid laning phase, which is pretty much the majority of carrying a game as a support, this part should be fairly easy because your AD carry will just completely melt targets. Lastly, the most important thing to do during the teamfight phase, and that is to make calls and instruct your team. This is the most important thing you can do to carry as any role actually, but you need to do your best to analyze the situation your team is in and come up with a plan to win while avoiding getting caught out. This also must be done in a very humble manner, otherwise you will once again come off as an arrogant asshole and no one will listen to you. Now as I wrap this up, I want to summarize a few key things. The first is that carrying on a support is very similar to carrying on any other role. First, win your laning phase, and then make calls during the teamfight phase. Games that are uncarryable by a support player are really just almost always uncarryable by any other role. And yes, some games definitely are uncarryable. Not every game is winnable, and that's okay. Just do your best in every game while maintaining a positive, humble attitude, and I can guarantee you will improve and have an easier time carrying games. So, that's it for my tips on how to carry as a support. I just hit 20,000 subscribers, and I want to give out a huge thanks to everyone who watches my videos and subscribes and all that good stuff. I'd love it if you could support me with a like or some feedback in the comments, and if you have any questions, I'd love to see you in the comments too. Please subscribe for more awesome content in the future if you enjoyed this video, and as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.